I call upon the greybeards of ancient to share stories of their time as a gamer during the Satanic Panic. Everything can be shared. I'm talking about book burnings, ludicrous claims associated with RPGs, calling the police on gamers hosting sessions in public settings, etc., etc. Really, any story about something terrible happening to gamers during the Satanic Panic. Pick unrelated.
So, I got sent a book a while back, and it's called The Book of Antithesis, and unironically, it probably justifies the Satanic Panic related to RPGs completely. I'll link to it down below. We did a review of it. It's honestly it's not for everyone. If you whip it out of a game store, you will be told to leave. Just watch the review.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting book, though. But let's get into this thread.
True story. My parents were semi-caught up in the Satanic Panic around RPGs and card games like Magic. This was also not helped by my dad's co-worker, who did it while doing hard drugs in the 80s and told horror stories of escapism going too far. The co-worker's stories were very true because he did have a past in hard drugs, and the D&D didn't help it. The D&D.
The D&D. The devil. I mean, D&D is the devil, but not in that sense. It's more the company, it's more the way it's run,
We are also a Christian household, but our church never officially denounced RPGs officially. I started getting interested in RPGs from some friends in high school, one of which he was playing alternately. I secretly bought the StarCraft box set with some of my summer job money. It was amazing to me, so I broached the subject with my father. The main selling point, I told him, was that this was not D&D. It was also science fiction. My dad and I bonded over sci-fi movies, and I told him we of course were not doing drugs, and I wanted to run a game for my 2 brothers and a friend. He thought it over for a bit, talking to the co-worker. The co-worker said RPGs were not inherently evil. It was the depression and hard drugs that made it a bad thing.
I think, would the co-worker not have understood that, though?
Yeah.
Would he not, have had a much better understanding?
Yeah.
It's probably got something to do with the intoxication more than the game itself. You know what this is? It's Luigi boards, though, isn't it?
It's Ouija boards. Did you just say Luigi board?
It's me.
Did you just say Luigi board?
Yeah, Megan, just keep going, alright? I'm going to keep calling them that now.
So my dad agreed to let me run a session, on one condition. He got to sit in the room with us while we did it. I think partially he wanted to see how it worked. We did the StarCraft alternately session I made, and I had a blast. My dad casually observing while we played as he read. After that, my dad was never concerned about my hobbies ever again. He was often supportive with them. Moral of the story? Try not playing D&D.
I mean, that makes sense. You know, I'm more confused than ever about this, because I would think the co-worker would have known better. I think, the dad, especially if he's so into, old sci-fi films, would get it as well. Okay, you know what, there is an awful lot of talk. I've been reading quite a bit about people are saying, grey aliens are actually demons and stuff like that, and it's actually really interesting, although
No, aliens are baby owls.
Oh, yeah, actually, let me post...
Insert that video.
Yeah, oh, no, and then there's the other one. Have you seen the wet owl? I'll post it. You'll see it. It's good. It looks like, unironically, looks like a demon Slanesh. I'm not making that up.
I was a kid in the 90s / early noughties, growing up in the Bible Belt. Didn't have much in common with my parents. All they cared about was farming, football, NASCAR, Budweiser, and Jesus.
Garblo?
Fantasy escapism was my only means of comfort. I'd lock my door for hours and read or write fantasy stories. Dad would yell, "Boy, you need to get out of there and play some ball."
Something like that, I imagine, yeah.
One day, a couple of kids at school are playing a basic RPG that they made based on Zelda, combined with your standard Saturday morning cartoons. This shit blows my mind. You could have adventures that were like a combination of video games and fantasy novels. Holy shit. Would sit after school most days for 2 hours just playing our makeshift fantasy RPGs that was completely 2D6 based and used tokens. On weekends or summer break, I would sit and write content for the game. I'd get on my phone with my friends and RPG over the phone. I remember on multiple breaks from school, I'd sit on my back porch, hiding from my mum, just solo RPing battle scenarios between legendary characters in the setting. One year, my parents suddenly go through a hyper-religious phase. Everything is suddenly the devil. Just like the fucking Waterboy movie.
Oh god. That's actually what I imagine a lot of these situations to be like.
Yeah. Knew that I had to keep my game a secret. I kept all of the rules for it in a binder that I hid between my bed and the wall. One day, Dad's mad at me because I'm doing poorly in school. He gives me the typical, "You need to really good" speech. Goes into the discussion of how doing good in school leads to getting a good job. Suddenly he opens the glove box. He pulls my RPG binder out of it. I'm completely stunned. He starts yelling, "A man doesn't have to pretend to play him wrong because he actually has one."
That's actually a good line. I actually kind of like that line.
And throws my binder out the window while driving down a country road. I'm completely stunned. Fuck him.
Honestly, that's kind of sad.
That's really sad.
That's just...
Fuck them kind of parents, guys.
You know, that's why I don't... Me and Megan were actually talking about school. Last night. And I think my biggest problem I had with school was all they do is talk about... Okay, you need to do X, Y, and Z, and then that'll give you... But they always talk about working for someone. They never talk about...
Working under someone, working for a company, working for whatever.
And where we live, okay, in Northern Ireland, you've got 3 choices. Well, actually, you got 4. So, you can either work minimum wage, working in hospitality, or retail. Mm-hmm. And that's the bulk of people that live here do that. Mm-hmm. Or you can either be a civil servant of sorts, work in some role in the government. The reason why it's so good over here is because they have to be paid the same as over in England. Mm-hmm. But the cost of living over here is so... It's like, it may as well be half the price of living. So, like, a normal civil servant job is, like, gold dust.
Yeah.
Even, like, a bidman job, outstanding. Like, you know, Americans don't get that, but bidmen over here are, like, that's an amazing job. Yeah. After that, you go on self-employed, be that small business owner, or even I would call that a tradesman of sorts, because most tradesmen end up becoming self-employed at some stage.
Yeah, just getting a trade in general over here is massive, like bricklaying, electric, anything whatever,
like
joiner.
And that's the thing. So that's my problem I've got really with school, is because they almost like try to condition you into
working underneath
being a Ouija, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
And there's nothing wrong with being a Ouija, because everyone's got a, like, you know, we've all been there, we've all done that, but I would implore anyone
try and look for a way to work for yourself.
Yeah, it would be that anything.
Makes you so much happier.
Yeah, honestly, see the 3D printing. Like, I wouldn't consider YouTube self-employed at all. I consider that like an independent contractor style job.
Yeah.
But the 3D printing, I consider that, you know, a complete standalone thing. If that makes sense. I would consider that self-employed, and I would really say to anyone, because I did horribly in school and I never knew what I wanted to do, like, ever. And people would ask, like, what do you want to do? It's like, I've no idea.
But we have to decide.
I've never worked a day in my life, so how do I even know what a good job is?
Oh.
And then, you know, it's...
I don't understand. Like, we have to decide at age 14.
Yeah.
What do you want to do when you grow up? And then we'll put you into the right classes for those qualifications. And 14.
You've got no idea.
14.
You're absolutely clueless.
All I want to do is go out and have fun with my mates at 14. That's it.
Pretty much. But I'll share my quick story about the Satanic Panic. So what happened to me was, it's actually kind of funny because it's the complete opposite. So my granny, very, very religious. Very, like, hyper-Catholic.
Like, went to mass like 5 times a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Woman. Like, lives in Dublin type of woman.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it was all about Pokemon and Warhammer and stuff like that. She was fine with it all. She was like, yeah, no, of course. It's, you know what I mean? It's
kids stuff.
You know what I mean? And it was all about Pokemon at the time. And it was actually one of my aunts, and she's a big hippie. Mm-hmm. That was actually the one that first came up with the whole thing about...
went on a retreat to be a Buddhist and shit?
Yeah, you know, she lived in the Philippines for like 10 years.
Mad
like,
hippie.
I mean, like, proper, when you think, like, hippie...
This is her.
This is that woman. Like, you know, she's one of those, like, you know, like, new... You know...
Your body is a temple.
Yeah, you know, all that type of stuff. It was her that came up with the whole...
Pokemon are from the devil?
Yeah. What? Pokemon are the devil? What? It's a complete opposite of what...
You would expect.
Yeah, exactly. It's so bizarre. So bizarre.
So, you guys like models? Yeah?
Yeah, you like models.
Heard you did. Because we have a warehouse sale on now. Well, I don't actually know how long it'll be running for because go quick.
Okay, so pretty much we moved from keeping stock to put to order about a year ago. But I'll just take a picture and show you guys. We have a ton of stuff.
Needs to go. And also £5 pin-up models. Like, £5. Go!
So, pretty much everything's half price. And just go ahead, check out and see what there is because there's tons of it.
Quick! Every week we're going to be doing a giveaway of the new pin-up model of the month. Or, if models isn't your thing, all of our homebrew content. If you want to be in with a chance to win the giveaway, all you need to do is subscribe. That's it. Hit the subscribe button. That's it.
Do it now.
But last week's winner was this guy. Well done! Yay! Round of applause. Yeah. Everybody stands up and claps. But enough of that. Let's get back to the video. My employment agency made me tote bales for the Salvation Army. Never give them books. They just send what they don't shelve straight to the rubbish tip. They don't even give it to the tip shop.
What's the point then? Like, that's... Oh.
They put it straight in the ground. Why? Antiques, first edition, signed first copies, everything. It made me sick to my soul. And anything with a wizard on the cover. Anything even remotely new age. Anything racy, anything about religion but Christianity goes straight into the tip. Anything with guns, one of those Far Cry 4 villain statues, because he had a gun. Anything associated with liquor, all knives. I offered to take the rejects to the library across the road, or the arts and crafts place that give away books for free. I was told no. I tried to save anything that was old or culturally or artistically significant, but they just destroyed everything, with a huge stock of vinyl records and a whole back room full of white goods, because they wanted to make room. And this was, what, last year?
That's just sad, to be honest with you. See, this is a problem I've got with charities, though.
The only one I do like is Salvation Army, because I know people...
Well, St. Vincent de Paul's good as well.
Oh, that's the one I'm on about, not Salvation Army.
Well,
St. Vincent de Paul's good.
Well, I've heard, actually, honestly, I do know someone that actually went with the Salvation Army, and they said it did. Like, they helped him, which was nice. But, again, it's something that... look, there's a lot of...
Especially whenever he says there's a library across the road. It's like, is it that much of a hardship to put them in even a black bag and send them across the road? Like,
yeah. And that, there's always someone in need. The thing is, if it's that bad, carpet sale. Come on, guys.
I know.
Big yard, you know what I mean? For Americans, yard sales, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it just... Don't start me talking about, Charities, because we'll be here all day. Charities are the real satanic thing here, alright, guys? That's all I got to say about it.
A game I was in was once interrupted by the police, asking to talk with our DM. Turns out a dude that played with our DM in a one-shot over a month ago called the cops claiming our DM threatened to burn down the dude's house with his family inside. DM and store manager explained the situation to the cops after a few minutes of confusion, and they apologised for wasting our time once they realised the call was frivolous. Fun part is that our DM 100% threatened to do that, very loud in fact, but everyone liked him so no one mentioned that to the fuss.
Okay, actually, you know what?
No grasses in this store.
Yeah, I've actually got a story for this. So, you guys know I used to work in a restaurant, oh no, it wasn't a restaurant, it was a hotel, sorry, but I worked in a kitchen. Anyway, so, there was this, crazy girl that started working, and I mean, she was absolutely...
Is that the one that cried all the time?
She might have... No, that was a different one, actually. There was a lot of them that cried all the time. It was not a nice place to work, I can tell you guys that. It wasn't a good weekend.
Every other week, June's like, yeah, new girl started... She just ran away crying.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, guys, it's not that bad, is it? Anyway, so there was this girl, she was like a trainee chef. She was absolutely useless, and she was one of those girls... she was one of those ones that I think she had something wrong with her. I don't think she was all there in the head. She must have had some from her learning disabilities, but she got on as if she was really smart, really intelligent, and she was really condescending as well, even though she had no idea what she was doing. She had very little training, and she was just no, go. You know what I mean? It was one of those ones.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, none of the chefs liked her. They couldn't stand her. And there was one day, one of the chefs, Owen, it's the same guy that I told you guys about the hand thing. This was years before hand. Anyway, again, another story with a knife with him. Come to think of it. Anyway, so she's doing pastries and stuff like that, and she ends up taking one of his knives and cutting up a clay bake, but with not using a chopping board. And of course, Owen goes absolutely mental, so he does, and says, I will actually kill you if you've been doing this. Not even a week and a half later, Owen has to go to the police station, so he does.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he had to go to the police station, and he was really concerned. He's like, what's going on here? Like, because Owen's a bit of a sketchy guy, let me just say. But anyway, there was like, threatened grievous bodily harm of. It's like, what are you talking about? And then
she gave him a knife blunt.
No, and then he got up and and then he was like, no. He sat down and actually explained, and then the police were just like, oh, right, okay, like, not to worry, sorry about that. Fine, see you later. One of those ones.
Grew up Jehovah's Witnesses. The real kicker here is that Jehovah's Witnesses keep records of every stupid ball-gargling retardity their leaders have ever printed going back to 1950. So even though I graduated after 9/11, I still had to deal with the same Satanic Panic shit regarding RPGs that mostly died out by the early 90s everywhere else. I was in high school in the late 90s, so the game du jour was not D&D, but Vampire the Masquerade, which was arguably worse for my parents.
Yeah, probably is. Vampires? Yeah, probably is.
I kept all that shit at school, but I did have the bad fortune to think a West End Star Wars rulebook would be acceptable to keep in my room. The ensuing fight was sort of hilarious in hindsight, since my parents kept on trying to give arguments about role-playing being getting involved in demonism, based on watchtowers, third-hand demon summoning, lies, testimonials regarding D&D, except I'd never played D&D before at all, and my dad had personally introduced me to the dorkery of Star Wars.
Guy! Can you not just turn around and say to them, look, think of this as I'm playing, when you see kids out in the street,
playing imagination with a stick.
This is what we're doing, but we've got a set of defined rules.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more adult. That's all you really need to say. That's honestly all you need to say.
My parents eventually half conceded defeat with a lame non-argument about it being a waste of time, and once I got a car, a bit after, I started keeping all my shit stowed under the driver's seat of my shitty Ford POS, which worked great for years until my car got caught in flood.
Oh, man.
The car was drivable after a trip to the garage, but the pages of the books were fused together and the print was coming off. R.I.P.
Oh, that's big
R.I.P.
Sad. That's going to be a pour one out for my homies, my homeboys right here.
Yeah. Our town had a guy who had a mental breakdown, started doing drugs, and thought he was a wizard after his girlfriend committed suicide. He tried to resurrect her with some rituals he supposedly found in a D&D splat book. After he was committed, some of the religious types tried to get D&D banned in our town for driving people insane and promoting witchcraft.
And that was a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
The guy was going through a lot.
Yeah. The town mayor said that was basically impossible within the confines of the national law, and that their claims were stupid. This debacle lasted for a week. The local priest said that he didn't find anything like that in the D&D books provided by the library. Religious types forgot about it, and started a crusade against the one gay couple in town before getting bored of that too. Wizard was released after about 2 years of rehab and therapy. The only permanent mark that episode left in the town is a 3.5 edition player handbook that haunts the town's hall archives to this day.
Per thing. Honestly, see, that's the problem with a lot of these sort of things, like mental breakdowns and whatnot. And the more and more I read about sketchy stuff on the internet, the more scared I get from it all. I don't know, how can I talk about this on YouTube?
You can't.
There's an... okay.
No, that's not. Look, a lot of our videos have already got demonetized. Let's not do this.
So the M to the K.
The M to the K.
The M to the K to the ultramarine. Is that how we're going to do this? Do you want to do that battle now, guys? The M to the K to the ultimate project. You know, a lot of like sketchy stuff going on, and yeah, and you know what? This is actually, it's not worth getting into. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's not.
I really want to start a schizo channel. Like an absolute schizo channel that I don't care if it gets deleted.
Not even monetized?
No, not even monetized. Like something.
Nothing, just schizo channel. Just James is rambling. He gets up at 3 a.m, just comes and records something. Hey, wait, I was thinking about this whenever I was sleeping.
yeah, like maybe post it on like Odyssey or something like that on like a different site altogether. I might, you know what? I actually would be interested in that.
James's voice notes to himself during the day. Must talk about.
yeah.
Not a personal story, but what happened to a guy I had in one of my groups. Playing D&D with Advanced D&D. Option books. We're 2 sessions into the campaign. Someone asked why I like these old editions so much. Go through the whole spiel about newer editions having too much focus on meta builds and breaking the game rather than adventuring and roleplay. So I used this edition instead. It still has some issues, but they're not hard to fix. Christian wingnut guy in our group starts talking about how you can't play old editions. They're satanic, and they'll corrupt you. Why are they satanic? It's just generic fantasy. You could make it satanic, but there's nothing in here that even references Abrahamic religion. Well, because my dad played the game when it came out, and he told me. You won't find it in any books anymore because they edited it out. Okay. My face when I'm sitting in front of him with my ratty rulebook printed in the late 70s. Shit's held together by tape and fucking dreams. Gift from the guy who taught me how to play D&D. It was his mother's original book. Rulebook. What? His mother's?
Not bad. Nice.
Pile of D&D and Advanced D&D books next to me. Stared him for a solid 20 seconds.
Like, you know.
I still don't know if this dude was fucking with me. Never inviting that spaz to anything ever again.
Look, you know the thing is, this is one of the things that I don't get. So I think if I was there, if I was alive during the Satanic Panic and like actively interested in D&D, I think my argument would be for it. I would create a campaign where you have to stop.
Where it is satanic.
No, but it is satanic, but you have to stop the Satanists.
Yeah.
And you all have to play as like clerics or something like that, or in some way, shape, or form. And I would redo maybe even the cleric, instead of subclasses. Okay, I know this is 5e I'm talking about, but redo the subclasses as maybe different saints. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think you could go and work with it, and I think it's like no, we're trying to. This is make believe for when the time comes. We can hunt the Antichrist. You know what I mean? I think that's what I would go for anyway. Yeah. And I think I would... the problem is you got to reason with Bimber logic. Yeah. And Bimber logic is very different from...
Logic?
Yeah.
Just actual logic.
Yeah, Bimber logic's just a different kettle of fish altogether. And you have to play by their rules to make them understand, because you need to put it into context for them. It's really bad. Like, honestly, I have to do this for my mum all the time. I have to do it for
my mum too.
Like, they just don't understand things at all, and I really have to put it into words that they would get. Like, they've still no idea what my job is. Like, they've got no idea. Yeah. They've got no idea whatsoever about how it works, or what I do, or even what I talk about. Oh, them little men. The little men that you have, the little armies, yeah. And that's about it. On a side note, if you want something that actually is satanic, though, like, unironically, check out the review that we did for the Book of Antithesis, because...
It's bad.
No, it is. It's really bad. I'm telling you, do not...
Viewer discretion is advised.
It most definitely advised. If you hate the Antichrist, this book's not for you.
Parental advisory.
Yeah. It's pretty brutal, not gonna lie, and it's very... It's good.
18 plus.
Yeah, it's definitely an 18 plus purchase, but I'm very happy with it. I actually think it's one of them. What I love about it the most is the guy that wrote it sent it to me, Job, and I would never have picked it up if he hadn't, he sent it to me, and I actually love it. I think it's one of the...
He's like the least likely guy to write this shit.
Yeah. No, he's a bit of an edgy Gen Xer, you know what I mean? But it's really cool.
Good.
I think it's worth checking out if you're interested in anything
that
satanic.
Type of stuff.
Yeah.
Or if you want to add it into your game for a spooky session,
I think it's good for an evil campaign.
If you want to start now, start writing a Halloween one-shot.
Again, I must say, this is not sponsored by any way. He didn't give us any money for it, so I just think it's actually genuinely good, but I feel like I have to say that anytime I talk about anything.
That's given to us, I know.
Yeah, you know how it is, like, you know...
But it is genuinely good. Go check it out.
There's too many paid reviews, and there's so many times you come across it on YouTube where, is this an advert? I don't know if it's an advert or not. I couldn't.
This isn't an advert. It's just genuinely good.
It's just genuinely we're on topic about it.
Go check it out. I really
want to talk about it more. Anything else we should bring up? Have you guys ever had any, like, you know, what's that guy? Old Soldier, is he called?
I don't know.
The grey beard in the comments.
Guy.
Yeah. You best get us some good stories. You're the only one old enough here for, like, proper, like, you know.
Tommy rubs his hands.
Yeah. Oh, no, Tommy does that just to cool, though.
Oh, no.
Tommy loves it. Tommy absolutely lives for trolling, like, old women. Like, I imagine, like, see whenever he sees, like, an old woman drinking her tea in, like, a coffee shop, Tommy gets on, like, a comical monster, and he goes up to the window and goes, you know? Like,
but while you're down there telling us your stories, check out the website for the models, t-shirts, we've already got... Seal's still on, keep going, quick!
Yeah, we've only got...
Up until Monday!
Yeah, up until Monday coming, which is the... What date is it?
I don't know.
It's the 6th today. Yeah, so you've got until the 11th. And I can tell you...
Go get it!
Yeah, well, it's probably going to be okay on the 11th, because I'm probably not going to have the time to actually edit the whole website on the...
James is probably going to be hungover.
Oh yeah, I'm going away on the stag do.
He's going away on the stag do all weekend. So, yes, go check it out now.
Enjoy.
Thanks. Hit subscribe. Notification bell. Bye.
Bye.